Chapter 1 of Unhinged, ladies and gentlemen. As a door, I didn't know when I fell in love with Tana, only that I most assuredly was. It might have been the first time she'd laid her soft fingertips on the cool brass of my knob, the day she first toured the apartment I faithfully guarded. I'd watched. I had to stop for a moment because I saw things are gonna get weird, and the author is likely one of them. White ladies who loves the people. Yep. Let's try that again. I'd watched, fascinated by the play of light against her cheek as she signed the papers on the chipped formica counter of the tiny kitchen just beyond my threshold. It may have been when I noticed the care she always took, sliding the key into my lock. In the 6 months she'd spent safely tucked behind my back at night. She'd never jiggled the key uncomfortably or twisted the knob too hard. No, not Tana. She always made sure the lock had unlocked before she tried to enter, and never tried to force her way beyond the sticky catch in the deadbolt. She wasn't like my previous tenants, a gruff pair of male roommates that shouldered me too hard and let me slam even when they didn't have to. No, they hadn't been civilized enough to lay out a beautiful welcome mat like Tana did, or sweep the pitted concrete square that faced the thickly wooded forest beyond my front. Yes, Bosco. He's not wrong, Bosco. Oh, hey, Slanesh. You made it to the start. Yes, we are in Chapter 1 of Unhinged. Welcome, by the way. Oh, the bliss I felt when she'd press her cheek to my painted surface, peering through the peephole to ensure her food delivery person was actually who they claimed to be. In those fleeting moments, I could perceive her perfume, the warmth of her breath and body, sometimes even the side of her silky lips as her head shifted away. Yes, if you can't tell, ladies and gentlemen, this is a door. Need I say more? Yes, we will. Once I got carried away by the... Yes, it's gonna go into one of those. Once I got carried away by the press of her breasts as she rose on tiptoe to look through the peephole, her t-shirt whispering against my flat back. Try as I might, I couldn't hold back my deadbolt. Okay. Which slid free with excitement at the touch of her soft cheek. Tana, my sweet puzzled Tana, gently twisted the bolt back into place, opening the unlocked door to nervously chuckle with the waiting delivery man on the other side. I listened to her murmur about the building settling oddly, the summer humidity surely swelling the wood of the doorframe. Hey, King. Gonna roll one on the implant. Hello, Slanesh. I'm waiting for the guest of honor to arrive, but she's probably charting still, even though it's 9 o'clock. 9:14 to be specific. Truth be told, I loved the humidity, even if Tana had a point about my swelling. The apartment's complex air conditioning units were ancient and offered little relief in the early summer heat. That meant that she dressed appropriately once I was securely latched, which meant she was hardly dressed at all. In barely there tank tops and tiny shorts, she pranced around the apartment, doing little dances to music on the radio as she vacuumed or worked at her computer job. It's 12:14 for me. Good times. Just FYI, Cody is fixing. Son of a bitch. You know what? To hell with it. Let him deal with the surprise. Let's switch to something a little more appropriate, shall we? So, bump. Professionalism, people. This is what you're here for. Okay, I don't catch my... Even if Tana had a point about my swell. Oh, we're past that. One particularly sweltering day. One I'd never forget. We were pressed together for long, sweaty moments. Tana had gotten a store-brand cherry twin pop... Okay. From the freezer to cool off. After peeling off the sticky paper packaging and tossing it away, she leaned heavily against my back, sliding down until she was sitting on the floor. There's our guest of honor. Welcome, Helena. You forgot Unhinged Day. I messaged you about it. You should check your phone. But yes, here we are. I'm doing this with no air conditioning to increase the ASMR atmosphere. Let's continue. The sheer magnetic attraction of prolonged contact shuddered through me. From lintel to doorstep. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know my door parts. Making me realize I definitely had feelings for her. Morning, Jed. Welcome to ASMR night. This is a new thing we're starting. If it makes you feel better, that's all that matters. Because she asked me to. That's why. If I get subs for this, that's a win in my book, Skytex. Where are we here? In fact, my desire for Tana grew greater by the day as I watched her, filled with pleasure from every brush of her fingertips along my knob, every gentle grip along my edge as she returned home in the evenings. I was torn between wanting her to stay with me and wanting her to usher her somewhere better, safer than these run-down apartments on the edge of the woods. Cares. Smut for Helena. Yes, that is what I'm doing. She's going to download this, listen to it every day. Also, that I will likely cut parts out, like the intro and the, the exit, as I usually do, because copyright reasons. I got that already. Not that I could, regrettably, silently century. What? Not that I could, regrettably silent century that I was. Terrible things lurked here, only a building away. Shortly before Tana had moved in, I'd watched Tana's overly friendly superintendent, Randall, vanish one night into the woods beyond the complex. The girl he tugged alongside him had been staggering unsteadily and looked uncomfortably like Tana. well before the incoming raid. GG's. Yep. This is what you subscribe for, people. For a moment on the day she'd signed the papers, I was almost sure it was the same woman. Is that Arca News Central? We'll pause for a moment. You have been summoned? Alan Jones. Welcome. How are you tonight? Shobi. After you was sick before I could say... There it is. There it is, people. The Camelot raid has started. Welcome, everybody. We're doing something very different from the regularly scheduled program. You may like it, you may not. Oh, it's a bedtime story, all right. One that may give you nightmares. One that you may enjoy. Depends on your preference. We got a lot of people. Papina? What are we doing here, lol? Oh, I am doing my interpretation of an audiobook. Welcome, Bob Jester. Mr. Fistos? Mr. Fistos? There we go. Did my thing stop updating? It probably did. Let's reload. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to... Damn, I think I need to take a drink of something. I've been talking a lot. Dat Racer 4251. You wish Cody would be... That rascal. That rasky rascal. I have been taken hostage. I must read about... Yes. Thank you, Scaly. You have given the best summation. The best summary. This is a story about an apartment door and its incredible attraction for, I'm pretty sure it's the author of the book. Which, since we have Arca here, I'm going to be in Michigan this Friday for a race with Mr. Camelot. If you are able to go, you should go. It is at the Michigan International Speedway. There's just only one, so it should be easy to find. Thank you, Arca. Subscribe and you'll see some more stuff. Okay, let's get back to it. You like anything but ASMR before work right now? Well, hopefully you're not having to go to work yet. Okay, where was I? But no, my Tana held herself a bit taller and had reading glasses perched on the edge of her adorably upturned nose. Her skin was a darker shade too, sometimes closer to my own painted over oak than a pale woman who had never returned from the woods. Interesting. Every time Randall oozed by, I just imagine this like piece of slime just sliding by the apartment. Every time Randall oozed by, all oily charm to check something at Tana's apartment. I barely held myself back from slamming across the creep's spindly fingers. I had few instincts beyond protecting Tana, but the idea of blatantly revealing myself as sentient filled me with a horrific sense of senseless cosmic dread. A warning from whatever force had given me life, surely. Still, I didn't like the way Randall's eyes devoured my precious... What? Devoured my precious charge when her back was turned. Okay. Yeah. My throat. You're not able to go? Oh, oh, you gone bankrupt. You broke. I'd ask why you did that, but it's a computer. I can understand. We made it to a page or two in, and already pretty sure the lady wrote the their dog. Oh, the door has spidey senses. Coffee with high action tension video games. Might was planned, but I'll give it a chance. Normally on this channel, we do video games. But this... Oh, hi, Bonzi. This is very much a new thing. You've never been to an ARCA race? I think I've been to one or two. I've done a bunch of the GNSS before NASCAR, but I haven't been to a whole lot of ARCA. This is the best gift ever. Enjoy it. Okay, where were we? Oh, I see. I didn't like the way Randall's eyes devoured my precious charge when her back was turned. Getting the requested papers or tools or something else that inevitably required her to bend over. To my relief, Tana seemed to pick up the predatory aura of the man, and always kept a stiff, polite stance between them. Excuse me. I just lost my... Damn it. Lost my spot when I had the burp. Okay. Bending at the knees, rather than at the waist when something was requested. And every time she managed to successfully, albeit politely, shoo the super out of her apartment, she'd turn the lock, rest her back against mine. Rest her back against mine, and breathe a sigh of relief. Even though I was... What the hell is that word? I am too stupid to pronounce this word, holy hell. Something speaking, obligated to support her. I still felt like I was actively providing her some comfort. The thought of that warmed me down my threshold. If Arca can come back to Picano, you'd have zero problem? Okay. You said you're a whatophile? Audiophile, it's a real term. We're not Dr. Disrespect here. No. Audiophile is a real thing. Sexy tour. I'm pretty sure I know what Camelot's thoughts are on this because I have not seen him anywhere. He probably saw what was happening and was like, alright, time to get foe. I still saw, however, what Tana could not. The way Randall would savagely grip the edges of my exterior frame once I was closed. Leaning in so close, his foul breath ghosted off my front. His fingertips would flex in frustration. A predator denied his prey, shoving off in a way to stalk down the hallway, muttering. His body language had been more aggressive the last time Tana had ushered him out, claiming an appointment that I knew was a ruse. Unfortunately, I feared Randall knew it was a ruse too. Type it out and it'll tell you how to Oh. Okay. Yeah, 18 only. Cody heard 2 minutes. It's like, nope. Probably. He hasn't messaged me. He probably knows what's up. Or he... Did he do Fight Milk? I wonder if maybe he had to go deal with that. Anyways, it's fine. I'm not worried about the word. It's just fine. Okay. Chapter 2. The next day, I was startled into consciousness by the sight of a fist. After the second round of firm knocks, I was honestly grateful it didn't seem to feel pain. The movements were blunt and heavy, and would have bruised me if I were made of flesh. I prepared to stick obstinately. What the hell? Obstinately. There we go. I learned how to read. I prepared to stick obstinately in my frame, imagining the knocker to be Randall, but was surprised to find a man in a dark blue uniform instead. The visitor was an officer, according to the television shows that Tana watched endlessly on weekends. Though far less attractive than the ones on the shows, a morning disheveled, though still beautiful Tana had pressed her face against my back, looking through the peephole at the officer outside. As she pulled the door open, the squawks and beeps of the officer's shoulder-mounted communicator echoed off the concrete hallway. Oh, welcome, Camelot. This is what I have been dragged into? You're disgusted. I don't know if I am. It's definitely something I'm exploring, but we'll see if it becomes a thing. Definitely a door just made of wood. Obstinate. That's probably what obstinately. Yeah. Not so much you. You all are unfortunate spectators in what is Helena's little fantasy, I guess. Even there was a mention of throbbing in the very beginning. You missed out on. But yes, throbbing door. Helena could easily go and get this on audiobook, because that's what I demoed before trying to do this. But I guess apparently I have the voice of radio. So here we are. I listened to 2 minutes of the story to get an idea for what this is. Next week, can you read us fanfic if you... No. Yes. You know, the thing is, I don't even really feel shame about doing this. I'm genuinely curious to see how far this rabbit hole goes. A very firm door. Firm, throbbing, veiny door. Yes. Nice tongue, fam. Welcome, Toby. Yes, if you also notice, I'm doing this the normal... not stream out, but normal YouTube. I'm holding off on StreamYard until I can figure out the audio issue, which I have some parts coming. I will not have them in time for the race, but I am working on a plan to resolve the stuttering issue. And then we'll be back to regularly scheduled stuff. But for tonight, enjoy. Why would I feel shame? There are guys that literally are disgusted and feel gross about even going into like a Victoria's Secret or like going in shopping to picking up like pads or something like that. There are guys that have that kind of shame, or just like, it's not a manly thing to do. I'm 40. I don't give a shit anymore. Okay, back at it. I will try and keep up with the chat, but there's no guarantees. Miss Fent, I'm Officer Holden. I shifted my focus from the unexpected visitor to Tana, studying the curl of her fingers around my edge to the errant lock of her hair she'd pushed behind her an ear. She nodded as she listened to the officer, a speech I turned out in favor of concentrating on the object of my affections. My attention snapped back to the officer. However, as he showed Tana, a grainy photograph. With a start, I realized it was the same doomed woman that looked so very much... I fucked that up. The same doomed woman that looked so much like my Tana. The one that had never returned from the woods with Randall. Failing to clock the same recognition I did, Tana only nodded softly, her brow creasing in concern, eyes flickering down the hallway to the dense corpse of forest beyond. Now choked with early spring growth as the officer gestured. You know your book club is lurking in the background?
You better be.
Sorry. Hotaru had Lord of the Rings on, and so Golem is kind of fresh in the brain. Fuck, this is hot. You would find this. I'm intrigued by the backstory between Randall and this. Like, where the fuck is Dexter Morgan in this shit? None for you, Cody. Only the rigid throbbing.
Only rigid doors for you.
Only moved here about 6 months ago. I'm so sorry I can't be more help. That poor girl. Tana accepted a small white card from the officer with another nod as the conversation dwindled. If you hear or see anything, I promise I'll call you right away. The officer touched the band of his uniform hat lightly in respect as he left, moving down the open hallway towards the woods as Tana turned to head back in. She frowned at the card as she pushed me closed with a luscious curve of her hip, moving to the refrigerator to pin the card under the brightly covered Hang on. I'm getting a message. I am replying. Okay. Get to the penetration part. I actually don't know where that is. I didn't go that far. Like I said, I listened to 2 minutes of this. The original like audiobook reader went very over the top on this. Like exaggerating over. He knew what he was reading and he had fun with it. I'm trying to do kind of a Scott Brick sort of situation. I listen to a lot of Scott Brick books. So where was it? She pinned the card under the brightly colored smiley face magnet. Missing, she shuddered visibly, talking out loud to herself, as she often did. True crime stuff is interesting, but I don't like living in it. Excuse me. Hopefully, She just went on the road trip or something. Tana's voice had gone flat and sad. I got the impression she didn't believe her own optimism. As Tana busied herself digging through the freezer for the toaster waffles she always treated herself to on the weekends, I listened and watched the exterior of the apartment. The officer was strolling back through the hallway corridor now, talking into his shoulder. Foreplay. Oh. That's the canvas of Building B, Chief. No hits. Though there's plenty dense woods behind the building. We're bringing out the canine units. Profiler was saying it could aggravate.
Aggravate.
A squawk of teeny garbled speech from his shoulder cut him off as he nodded absently. I wasn't sure how the officer could make out a word of the noise. It sounded like the chatter of a million birds in the trees. The grunt of aggression followed the garbled voice dying down. 10-4, Chief. Be right there. The officer's various pockets and belt loops jangled and thudded as he jogged down the hallway and out to the parking lot. Inside the apartment, the gentle clunk of a plate on Tana's coffee table signaled the beginning of her Saturday ritual. Waffles drenched in syrup, and a loud action movie. I settled my perception there to watch with her, deeply troubled. I knew from the shows Tana watched that, it's justified. Canines often meant bodies. I also knew from another show that bad men like Randall often got worse if they were close to being discovered. My Tana was in danger. And even as sturdy as I was, I've never felt more helpless. 2 chapters in, things are getting interesting. You are sin incarnate. Yes, you all know what Helena likes to read or listen to. It was early evening when another knock, this time the clunk of bony nicotine-stained knuckles, pulled my consciousness outward again. Randall. His booze-tainted breath curled offensively against my front as he leaned too close, speaking into the door jamb. Tana? Hey, Tana. It's... The fuck, you cunt? It's Randall, honey. I know you're home. I need to give this guy like a stupid voice. I know you're home. I saw your car in the parking spot. Hey, did the cops talk to you today? I slid my perception around to see the defeated slump of Tana's shoulders, the steadying sigh that she allowed herself, and the momentary pinch at the bridge of her nose as she called back, Hey, Randall, 1 second. She pulled a robe around herself, covering her delightfully braless tank top and sleep shorts she was still dressed in. If it wasn't for the unwanted visitor at my front, I'd think it was a terrible waste to cover up her beauty. Oh, I'm sure, Mr. Door. What are we going to call the door? We need a name. This guy getting wood from a door. Yes, Richard. I need options. It can't just be a door. We need a name for him. Options. What's the council say? I'll keep reading. Tana tugged me slightly open, and I was glad she hadn't opened me all the way. Better to keep more of myself between Tana and Randall, so I could at least try to keep the predator out of her safe sanctuary. Behind Randall's too curious lean into the apartment, ominous thunder rumbled, clouds thick and heavy with a swiftly moving storm front. Tana cleared her throat softly. Yes, Randall, the police were here. They asked if I'd seen or heard anything suspicious lately. I told them no. Smart girl, Tana. Oh, smart girl, Tana. She couldn't have known what I did. Of course that Randall was exactly the man they'd been searching for, and that he'd likely killed the girl they were looking for. Even so, Tana chose to gloss over a few details she had been given, put me at ease. The less Randall knew about the police hunting him, the better. Call it. No. No. Woody. The door can be called, what is that? Slam piece? I kind of like Woody. Slam piece. Or should we do a poll? Can we do that? Let's do that. Let's go into, what is that? Rude? Wrote? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Here, we'll do a poll. I'll put this down for a moment. Oh, I missed something from Richard. Karis contorts into a 90-degree angle. No, I'm not finishing that. No. Fraggle, fuck that away. The door's Camelot. Let's see here. Start a poll. Door's name. Woody? Rudy. There's one. It's rude because the door is reversed. I don't know, stupid idea. Rude. 245. Nice. Also, welcome, Hank. Here, we'll do Woody. What was another one? I'm still working on it. You know what? No, that's gonna mess me up if I do that. Rudy. Woody or Rudy? Let's... Boom. Woody or Rudy? We'll let that go for a while. Okay. Hunting him there. Did you, need anything else? Tana raised an eyebrow, her fingers pointedly resting on my edge, ready to close and lock me as soon as the lingering super was out of earshot. But right now, Randall was looking at Tana too hard, a beat too long, sizing her up like a meal rather than a tenant. That's all for now, honey. Just trying to keep... Fucker. That's all for now, honey. Just trying to keep an eye on the complex, you know. I forgot what voice I was doing. I'd hate to think there was a dangerous man out there that could hurt one of my favorite tenants. He winked sarcastically as he straightened, patting my door frame with a firm, possessive palm as he left. I strained at my hinges, wishing I could fly out of the wrong direction and break the man's nose. For I am him, and he is I. Exactly. I need to be able to see. I can't see what the options are with that. I don't want to close the poll. Let me see it. Do I need to refresh? I probably do. Interesting. Well, I guess that's not going to do a thing. I guess I'll see it when I see it. Chapter 4. Hours later, Tana was safely in bed, but I couldn't shake my unease. Excuse me. Why is this happening when I'm trying to read? Lightning sizzled across the sky, the boom of thunder echoing up and down the open hallway as to the woods beyond. The storm drove hard, pelting rain into the vestibule. I think I got that. Where it pooled on the cracked gray concrete, darkening the edges of the thin welcome mat. As a wan sodium yellow of the ancient floodlights winked out of the power outage. What the fuck does that even mean? A strangely dressed man entered the hallway from the darkness, his silhouette impressively tall and broad. Draped in white swaths of robe, he wore a golden circlet on his creased brow. Who the fuck is this guy? And his odd garments parted at his shins to reveal a pair of leather sandals. Is this Jesus? Somehow, not a drop of rain had marred his clothing. Silver shot hair and beard, or deeply tanned skin. The only illumination in the dark corridor came from the man himself, glowing from within like a firefly. Yeah, it's Jesus. I hope they take out the Baldo in the story. I watched wearily as the man approached with a firm clap of the sandal shoes, ready to stick fast in my frame to prevent Tana from being disturbed. Instead, the visitor merely cleared his throat and stared straight at me, addressing me directly. So, Hera has told me I must make some amends for my affairs. Personally, I think she's being oversensitive. But women, right? You fuck one girl as a weather event, or a bird, or her own husband, and all of a sudden, you're the bad guy. He rolled his eyes and waved his huge hands dramatically, as if I could possibly respond. If I could have responded, I'd offer that this Hera seemed to have reasonable complaints if the two of them had been committed to one another at the time. The man sighed and raised a massive palm as if he was cutting me off. Mid-non-existence. Anyway, here's the thing. I can't just say a couple words to change reality. Tends to get the mortals in a tizzy, especially these days. Part of Hera's whole thing is consent, which she says I need to learn. The man made condescending air quotes with his fingers, leaving me with hefty doubts. The man was actually contrite. Oh, hey, good news on that front, though. I'm giving you a chance to convince your lady love in there to set you free. Fucking hell, it's Beauty and the Beast, ladies and gentlemen. 11 votes? How many people we got? 78 viewers? No one wants to vote? We'll give it 6 minutes ago. We'll give it a little more. Actually, let's just go regular live. Maybe we can see the poll that way.
Let's check it out.
View my own channel. Oh, okay. So that's where we're at. You voted? Well, thank you, Slinish. We are sitting at an 82% for Woody. 82% for Woody, 18% for Rudy. We are all too enthralled.
My voice is that mesmerizing.
I don't know why I always go into either a ring wraith or golem. I feel like more of a ring wraith. Ring wraiths are easier to do. Golem, you have to get messy with golem. You voted. Thank you, Arca. Okay, we'll close that out. We'll give it a few more minutes, then we'll close it off. The vote, that is, not the stream. Let's see. We got to change page. I still couldn't respond. Hope and confusion still filled me with lentil to threshold. Tana. The man waited for a long, awkward beat. Oh. The man waited a long, awkward beat for an answer before he clucked his tongue and snapped his fingers. Right. Sorry. You can't talk. I forgot. You're probably wondering what all this is about. Your existence and everything. The thing is, you're made of solid oak. That's one of my sacred trees. I'm told that apparently an acorn from my grove across the ocean made it here, grew up as a big strong oak, was felled to use for... The man wrinkled his nose and gestured dismissively at me. Well, this. Congrats. You're at least half dry. Oh, you're at least half dryad, my boy. The man looked uncomfortable and swung his eyes up to the concrete ceiling of the vestibule, sighing as he continued, speaking a little faster. And, well, there's a pretty decent chance you may be, my son, of sorts. See, a lot of things happened in the grove, and there's this perfectly positioned knothole on this really sexy tree, and the mead was flowing freely. He gestured in a rolling circle with his hand. You get the point. I did not, in fact, get the point, but was very curious about the insinuation I could be with Tana. Anyway, tonight, by Hera's grace, you can enter your girl's dreams. You need to make your case and convince her to do what I did with that knothole. The man cleared his throat awkwardly. The catch is, however, that it needs to happen while you're in this form to set you free. But I have faith in you, son. Someone should have spaced that a little better. You've got your old man's charm, after all. The man patted a big palm against my front, and turned to walk away. Okay, we will close this out now. What's the result? Live chat. Give me my thing. Oh, give some good shit. Quality-wise, but not my thing. Yep. Alright, so looks like the result, from what I saw... Wait. Damn it. No, that's not it. Looks like the result is Woody. So, this is the story about Woody, the door. Sounds good. Oh, hi, Bonzi. Bonzi comes to say hello. Okay. Halfway down the hallway, he turned and looked back to go over a robed shoulder, raising his voice to be heard. And I'd seal the deal quickly if I were you. My brother Hades mentioned that a skinny twit I'd been... My brother Hades mentioned that the skinny twit I'd been lurking around your girl sent a woman to the underworld recently. I rested for long moments after the visitor faded back into the storm, perception lingering on a blank well across the vestibule. I gotta learn to say that better. The news the strange man, potentially my father, had given weighed heavily on me. Tana was in danger, and I was more than a door. It had never occurred to me that there was a time before I was a door, or that other doors might not be aware of themselves. Was I really a dryad? A god? No, I decided. Gods do not have to suffer the indignities of... Hang on. Mrs. Scrimshaw's chihuahua, lifting a leg on them. I was something lesser than, but still more than human. The larger question was, how could I use this new revelation to keep Tana safe? Put your pants on, food is... But I'm wearing shorts. Shit is getting deep, ladies and gentlemen. I thought this was going to be a situation where Tana was bored and decided to just bone her door, but this is getting magical, like Lord of the Rings magical. I spent the next few hours thinking of every command that could send me into Tana's dreams. All to no avail. After trying all night, I finally let defeat settle into my timbers and faded back from consciousness, sadly mourning the loss of a promised chance to change my fate. Chapter 5. No sooner had I given up... already I'm messing up. No sooner had I given up than I found myself in a strange open space without form or borders, in an unfamiliar body of a man. As I turned to get my bearings, I stumbled forward and backward, as if I had no structure at all, like a broken sapling in high winds. How did humans keep themselves upright? What great effort I managed to stay standing, mimicking the posture I observed in humans, albeit precariously. It was uncomfortable, and it felt widely unstable compared to my hinges, but it worked. Besides, the unique novelty of hands, feet, clothing, and shoes far outweighed the floppy disorientation of my non-human spine. The edges of the wide space around me were dim and foggy. As I concentrated, however, a classroom seemed to abruptly mushroom into existence at the center. A confusing tangle of adults and children were seated at the desks, intensely concentrating on a piece of the paper while a teacher looked on with a comically oversized stopwatch, audibly ticking away. In the center of the group, Tana sat, hopelessly trying to cover her naked body with a single thin sheet of paper from her desk. Of course she'd write that in. She looked mortified, a deep blush coloring her cheeks and chest as her gaze flicked back and forth to her classmates, all of whom were rapidly becoming aware of her undressed state. I'd seen Tana nude often inside her apartment, but here in front of me, she stirred even more... I read that wrong. But here in front of me, she stirred even more powerful longings. What started as a quiet giggle soon grew to fill the area as everyone looked up from their tests to point and laugh at Tana's nudity, the sound rising to a jeering roar. Pulled from my erotic musterings, I bristled at her discomfort immediately compelled to save her. As I moved closer, I discovered I was dressed identically to the hero from a movie Tana had recently watched. Shrugging off the rugged flannel overshirt, I quickly hurried over and draped it around her shoulders, dropping to a knee to button the front. Well, I tried to kneel anyway. In reality, as soon as I got the shirt around her shoulders, the shift of balance to one knee was too much for my new uncoordinated body to manage. I promptly fell over in a heap against the desk beside Tana's, with a clattering and screeching of metal legs sliding across the formica. Immediately, the surrounding crowd burst into mocking laughter, fingers jabbing my direction instead of Tana's. Tana's look of mortification smooth from her brow, a tiny wrinkle of concern forming instead as she used one hand to hold the flannel cloth and reach the other down to me. The sheer incandescent bliss of finally getting to touch Tana, to hold her, turned to jeering laughter around us to silence as our eyes met. As she helped me to my awkward, newfound feet, I marveled in the way I seemed to tower over her, my door height translating to a larger-than-life human in the strange dream world. I reached over to gently adjust the collar of Tana's borrowed shirt, indulging in the luxury of my new hands to comfort her. She blushed. My Tana blushed, and smiled greatly up at me as I led her away from the makeshift classroom, which promptly melted into the floor like decaying fungus behind us. She turned to face me fully, her fingers lightly ghosting along my cheeks, as they had my door edge so many times before. Why do you seem so familiar? Who are you? I threw caution to the wind. Is this where it's going? Is this going where I think it's going? Is this the nightmare we have about being in class naked? Apparently. I threw caution to the wind, clasping her soft hand against my cheek and turning my head to kiss her palm. I have no name but yours, Tana. I am your faithful guardian and protector. Nothing more, nothing less. I am your door, and I love you. It actually says that. My door? I don't understand. Is this like a She frowned, brow knitting in confusion again. Your door. To your apartment. I smiled brightly, proud and happy to finally have a voice to tell Tana I've been watching over her. This is not going to go well. My teeth felt odd. The air and space in my mouth, so different from the flat, solid planes of my door self. I was grateful Tana had left the television on so often. It let me study the movements and expressions I once hoped I was currently mimicking enough to pass as mostly human. Whoa, I'm not eating those popsicles before bed anymore. This is the weirdest dream I've ever had. She laughed loudly, patting me on the chest. Katie will get a kick out of this when I tell her, though. My door. Ha! Crestfallen, I gently cupped Tana's shoulders to drive home my urgency. Tana, please. I was told I only had tonight to talk to you, to ask you for a favor. Please, this is very serious. You're in danger and I can't protect you here. She wore a lopsided grin, cleverly not taking me serious. A favor, huh? So what? Do you want me to oil your hinges? That's a good response. It was my turn to blush at the obvious flirtation in her tone. A highly unusual sensation, It felt like the afternoon sun on my painted front, only concentrated to my now human cheeks. In a manner of speaking, the man that offered me this, I pointed back and forth between us, said we must be together in the way you and I read that wrong. In the way you are with your shivering blue stick. Oh! He knows what that does. Tana frowned, silently mouthing my words as she mulled them over, realizing suddenly drawing on her as she jabbed my finger into my pectoral muscle. And just what the hell do you know about my shivering blue stick, buddy? That's none of your goddamn business. I scrubbed the back of my neck with a palm uncomfortably with Tana's sudden shift in mood. Why was she so unhappy? She always seemed to be in a very good mood when she used her shivering blue stick. You leave your bedroom door open. I didn't think you wanted privacy. You close the smaller room with the shower in the mornings and evenings. If you wish to be alone with your blue stick, why do you leave your door open? Oh boy. Because I didn't realize my goddamn front door was a voyeur, dude. She widened her eyes and threw her arms up, gesturing with irritation with me. You can bet your ass I'll be closing it from now on. She squinted suspiciously. Wait, is my bedroom door watching me too? Are you all freaking pressboard pervs? This is actually really practical. I appreciate the writing on this. Shivering blue stick. Yes. Yes, all 76 of you are enjoying this, I know. I'm probably the 76th one. There's only 75 of you, I'm sure. I straightened with indignation, even though my comparatively bent spine still felt odd compared to my normal wooden state. Excuse me. I am made of solid oak, not pressboard, and none of your other doors are like me. I am your protector. She waved a dismissive hand. Yeah, and you love me. We've covered that. No more watching me with my vibrator, weirdo. You're hot, I'll give you that. But this is my dream, and I call the shots, bud. Sighing with frustration, desperation crept in my tone. Please, Tana. Randall is a murderer. He killed that girl, and he's going to kill you next. I can help you stop him, but only if I held out my hand in indication. English is escaping me today, people. I'm stupid. Indication? We'll go with that. Splaying my fingers, I can protect you if I can move. If I can fight him and hold him off. But I can't do that as a door alone. He will let himself into your apartment. He's done it before. Tana grasped my forearm and flicked an angry gaze upwards. Wait. Randall's a murderer? I thought he was just, a creepy loser. And wait, what do you mean he's done this before? He's been in my apartment when I wasn't there? I laid a gentle hand over hers on my arm. Yes, while you were at the supermarket several weeks ago. He watched you leave, and then used some sort of strange key in my lock. He came in and took your pink underwear, the ones you've been looking for since last month. He went through your drawers and put everything back, but he took those with him. I wanted to slam on his fingers, believe me, I did. I'm so sorry, Tana. Her eyes wide and wild. Tana shoved her fingers into her own hair, spinning out of my gentle grasp. Holy shit, that fucking pervert. I can't... She sucked in a sharp, tearful breath. turning back to me with a panic expression. Oh my God, what am I saying? Fuck my underwear. He could have killed me in my sleep. With a piteous sound of horror at her earlier realization. I hope I said that right. Tana suddenly flung herself at my chest. Her cheek pressed against this new, strange form. My arms drifted around her indistinctly, happily mimicking the embraces that I'd seen in the movies Tana watched. As her fearful words registered. Sorry. I frowned and shook my head resolutely. The gesture unfamiliar enough to leave me a little dizzy. Running a gentle hand down. I see you all typing there. I'll get to that in a moment. Tana's hair to soothe her. I did my best to sound reassuring. No, never, Tana. I'd have figured something out. Despite my bravado, my voice trailed off miserably. Ashamed I couldn't be a more confident protector. After all, one strange key had removed all my defenses in moments, even my deadbolt, and I'd just be as vulnerable once Tana woke up. The liminal space around us waved and grew unsteady, and fear pooled in my dream-formed stomach. Okay, I see. Tana, listen. We don't have much time, I think. I think you're about to wake up. Please think about what I've asked. My cheeks heated again as I imagined enjoying more of Tana than the occasional brush or grasp. She leaned back from my chest, scrubbing under a tearful eye with the heel of her hand. Her expression questioning as she sniffed. What do you mean you want me to? I mean, how would that even... The space around us flickered unsteady again, leaching color from my borrowed shirt in Tana's skin. Her lips began moving with no sound as she steadily faded from view, eventually vanishing with a soft pop. The fog rolled at the edges of the darkness, tumbling in, pulling my perception back until I was once again a sturdy rectangle of painted oak standing in guard in front of Tana's apartment. In her bedroom down the hall, Tana woke with an audible gasp. And that is all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Things are getting interesting in this smut-filled atmosphere. I will give you that. It's definitely taking another... Yes, Bosco. Let me pop back in here. Greetings once more.
Hey, what up, Karis?
Having fun in Samara Town?
It's Scaris. Wait, what's it called? Scaris Tex.
Yeah, I just call it Samara Town because I think back to what Skytex said of like jokingly said you have 7 days to die, and I'm thinking, well, I haven't watched the tape yet, so.
Oh,
Yes, good old Ring references.
that I was like, holy shit.
Oil my inches, gonna use that.
Don't make me oil my inches.
Oil me inches.
You haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Yeah, that. Put your magic shiver stick makes you a wizard, Harry. Oh, Brain Dead Lewis, welcome. So far, one thing has been on my mind mainly. I had a buffer, but the Soundwave toy I mentioned I had since I was 8. When I was young, it lost its head. I haven't been able to find it to this day. First time I felt a sense of despair, trying and failing to find it. I think I found it once, but I lost it again. Ah, the long-lost life toy. Yeah, this is 96 pages. I'm definitely going to have to break this up into separate streams. This is going to become near, ladies and gentlemen.
Should add it to your stream elements.
Yeah, I'll have to. Bite me. Welcome. Unless I saw you before. I know I missed a bunch of people. There's still 70 of you in here. That is fantastic. What are we looking at for thubbies? Yeah, 245. I like it. Really seems like people are approving of this, and I am definitely I'm definitely have to keep going on this. Not personally, of course, but the next time I decide to do this, but yeah, that won't be until a couple days. Well, thank you, Bosco. You definitely feel better. Well, that's good. I've had COVID twice in my life. I don't wish it on anyone. Excuse me.
Hey, Bite Me, what's up?
I think, if I recall, Bite Me started coming in here when I was playing Subnautica? I think. I don't recall. But that is okay. And we had a lot of people streaming tonight. We had Salty Onion, Camelot, Queso streaming, Ginger was streaming, Zombies Go Numb, which I need to check out at some point. But yes, unfortunately, people, I have to be heading out. Are we 32% of the way through? Okay. Well, I hope you gentlemen have a good night. I'm going to head out because I got to get up in the morning and head back to the airport to finish doing my stuff.
You got a lot of shit to do, huh?
It was opening day today at PDX.
I really like that picture you took.
Oh, of the checkpoint? Yeah, those are the ones that I felt I could take. There was so many TSA people around. It was we had some VP from TSA or DHS headquarters coming to do a speech that day. So it was all fancy stuff at the airport.
That should have been Woody's voice.
As I was saying that, I was realizing myself that I sound like Francis, and I don't want.
Oh no!
I don't want to do that. I try to do more of a Isaac Kleiner, but sometimes it just goes off its fucking rails. You know, who knows? Problem is finding a voice and sticking to it. 'Cause
that's true.
That's what I was saying. We need to do this as like a radio program where we each have a character, so that way we can just be the character.
I wasn't gonna force the Kindle Unlimited onto anyone. I was hoping to legit just buy, if I had to, I'll buy it for 99 cents and then return it later. But it wouldn't let me do that. It literally forced me to get Kindle Unlimited. So, yeah, kind of stuck with that for the time being. Good night, Steph.
It's a magic.
Night, Steph.
The magic shiver wand makes her a wizard, Harry.
It does. Magic blue shiver wand.
Harris, we were saying that all your followers are going to turn in middle-aged ladies.
We can blame Helena for that.
Yeah.
Blame Helena for a lot of things.
We can blame her for having the idea that all of us need to meet up in Vegas at the start of the new year, which I would love to do. I'd love to rent just a like a giant ass room, like a presidential suite, for I don't know, like a few days or something. If I can get enough points and just throw it all on Hilton or something. But yes, we need a meetup with the new Famelot generation in Vegas. Blame Helena. We can't blame Canada. We blame Helena. We can do that. It's making you a brony. Nah, you're not a brony.
Well, one of you gentlemen bring me a splint. I broke my leg.
Steph, you don't count. A splint? Where are you at?
Over here by the base.
As long as you
splint in the base. Go get it.
I have a broken leg. I can't.
Crawl.
I'm killing a family of 3 and loving it.
Oh, wow.
You gotta
All
make
right.
stories, you know?
All right, gentlemen. You have a good night. I'm out.
Good night, Karis.
Night.
And for the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this. I very much appreciate that you've stuck around and tolerated this. I had a knee brace. I have a knee brace. I just don't use it really much because I put my knee through therapy for a couple years. Middle-aged and older women are still subs. Yes, you better have cats too, because I literally have a cat right here. Well, you've seen the cat for the most part. She's not within camera view right now, so I can't turn it on, but I will see you all next time. You all have a good night.